Hi, everyone. Hi, welcome. Whether you're watching now live or whether or not you're watching this conversation later as a pre record, welcome to this special In Conversation with Zeina Daccache. My name is Melanie. I'm the director of Reclaim the Frame, and we're a UK wide charity with a mission to champion films made by filmmakers of marginalised genders and to build audiences and to build communities around the UK and now globally for those films. I first met Zeina Daccache and came across the Blue Inmates as part of a project that we've been doing over the last year called Reclaim the Frame International, in partnership with a number of women's film festivals around the world and supported by British Council. And we were really proud to bring The Blue Inmates, which is the latest film from Zeina, here to the UK when it premiered at Barbican and then at Bertha Dockhouse not so long back. And now we're really proud to be presenting The Blue Inmates together with Zeina's previous two films together on DAFilms and in partnership with DAFilms online. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Zeina. Hi, Zeina. Thank you
Hello,
so much for
Melanie.
joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Hello from Lebanon. So we're on different time zones tonight.
Yeah, so everyone, I'm here in Sheffield in the UK. Zaina, I think you're in Beirut.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's brilliant to get to talk to you again about your work. And as I said, this is about launching the three of your films, form
The
very much
trilogy.
on DAFilms.com, where they can be seen at the moment as a trilogy and as a package through till the end of the year. So I've got some questions for you. I really want to try and touch on each of the films as well as a bit about your background and route into filmmaking. But I just want to say to everyone watching that if you'd like to send any of your responses to the film or any questions for Zaina, then I'll be able to see them here and we can put those through to Zaina. So really, really welcome your questions. But Zaina, first of all, I'd really love to talk to you about your route into filmmaking. So you started out as an actor, a comedic actor.
Mhm.
You're a clinical psychologist. You've pioneered drama therapy in Lebanon. You're an activist, theatre maker, now documentary filmmaker. Please tell us a little bit about your journey. It's an unusual one.
It is. I'm still trying to understand it myself. So, Melanie, thank you for the introduction. It was really a pleasure meeting you as part of, when we met in Turkey a few months ago. I'm really happy where our relation led, and there you go. You made a dream come true to me and the inmates, having this trilogy online available finally. So, who am I? I'm Zeina Daccache. I'm Lebanese. I'm from the Middle East, this little country called Lebanon. And I mean, I never knew what I'm gonna end up one day. So I was, last year at in high school, and I'm like everyone asking me, "What do you want to do?" I don't know. It's fair not to know what I want to be, but so I was, always going with the flow, and then I said one day I'll be a med. Then one day I saw this play, a wonderful play, a French play at a theater in Beirut. I have never seen French plays, and independent theater plays. And I remember going out from the play saying, "Oh my God, that's all I want to do in my life. Acting, directing theater plays, creating this catharsis that is created just by a theater play." So I do my BA in theater. I become an actress. So yes, I was in theaters in Beirut, performing Shakespeare, classical theater, you name it, independent theater, blah blah blah. But at the same time, I was always not satisfied. Like, like the song that would play, I can get no satisfaction. Like, that's it. So theater ended up being, I go watch Melanie, Melanie comes watch me, and we applaud each other because Melanie is into art and I am into art. And then we go watch, I don't know who. And it's just us, the people who know about culture. And no, I wanted to be cathartic. It's the same way it created this catharsis for me. This is how I want to see it also to the people. So I had always this idea in mind. What if we do theater in refugee camps? What if we do theater in the street? What if we do theater in a prison? I had this like just when I was, I don't know, 21 years old. And I'd share these ideas with friends, and everyone would be, come on, you're an actress, don't go there, blah blah. Look at you, you're on TV now. Because yes, I stayed on TV for 13 years, also doing a political satire show as an actress. But there also, I was not satisfied. And this whole prison thing was always there. Like, why don't we do theater inside the prison? And what led me to prisons in 1999, look how long time ago, I discovered this wonderful play director called Armando Ponzo, who does theater inside Italian prisons in Tuscany. And it was just the start of emails. You remember emails, we used to have this modem was, you have this connection for 2 seconds. And I, yeah, and I sent him this email and I say, can I do an internship with you? And he was like, what? And I was like, can I go and do an internship inside this prison with you? He said, I mean, if you want to come by yourself, because we don't have real interns, we're just, at the start of this whole thing. And I say, yeah, I book a ticket, I go there. And it was a wonderful experience. But I knew that doing it in my country is very difficult. We're a third world country. Our government would never allow such a thing. The prisons are already something like, lower than low, we say. I go there, I have this wonderful experience, and I say, I need to study clinical psychology. Why? Because I want to mix theater and clinical psychology. So I do the master's in clinical psychology. Then I say, isn't there anything called drama therapy? There has to be something called theater and therapy, or. So I go on Google again, and I find that it exists in the States. So I travel to the States, I study their drama therapy. And as soon as I came back, this was 2006, like, I was like, still, why don't we do it in prisons? Why don't we do it in prisons? Like, look, all these years. So very naively, I go to the government and I say, how about we do theater or drama therapy inside our prisons? And definitely they said, what? Are you crazy? No, but let's try. No, okay, I'll be back in a month. So I come back in a month, with the same idea. No, okay, maybe if I meet this minister, he'll say yes. I go to the other minister. No, so I go to the other minister. No. Yeah. I mean, it was a crazy year and a half. I will not tell you the whole details of me doing nothing but asking for the clearance for a crazy project, saying that theater can heal, theater can be a great project for prisons. I had no idea I'm going to do a law reform one day or panel reform. I was still just, I want to do theater inside these prisons and therapy. So I think I was a huge Woody Woodpecker. Woody Woodpecker. They
Yeah.
got so bored with me in the government, and in the end, they signed a clearance saying it's like, how do you say it? It's for a certain period, but we'll keep on watching you, like something like, we'll see, So slowly, like every month, you need to come back to us, and we'll see if we continue this clearance. And I did it. And every month you'd see me there bringing reports to them, meetings, endless meetings with coffee, cigarettes, coffee. What are you doing? Why did you do this? Blah, 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 da, da, da. And came up the first project, 12 Angry Lebanese, which was a beautiful theater play done inside prisons, open to the public. This was 2009. And this is where you gain the confidence of the government. Like they saw that, oh my God, this girl did a theater. There was no harm, nor to the audience, nor to the prisoners, nor to us as a government. And the 14 years in prisons went on starting there. So Did I intend to stay more in prisons than this project? No, but once it worked, and then there was this reduction of sentences law that started being implemented because of the first play, 12 Angry Lebanese, I was like, oh my God, so theater is not just therapeutic. Theater is an awareness thing for the whole audience because it was the first time they knew what we have in prisons. And guess what? It did a reform for the law. And this is the system I just, started repeating, adapting in the women prison, then in the mentally ill unit, psychiatry unit inside prison. And what I tried to do also outside prison was other marginalized populations, such as the migrant domestic workers, such as the refugee camps. Like theater can also lead to reform. Theater can change laws. We can draft laws in parallel to, conveying the message through a theater play or a film. Where did the film come? As I was so scared of being put outside prison, because my clearance was always very fragile, especially in the start. I had at least the clearance to have a camera, a video cam, I told the government, we'll be shooting, to archive, to show you guys what we're doing inside. And also for the donor, I had the EU behind me. I mean, you need to show them you're working, you're not working, what you do. And it ended up that we have 400 hours of footage. Me and the crazy DOP was working with me, and I salute her, Jocelyn Abi Jibrayel, a beautiful friend who really offered kind of pro bono for a whole year shooting inside. I mean, we're two girls on an adventure inside this place, and we're shooting, and she's shooting, and I'm saying, what are you still shooting? And she said, just you work, I shoot. Do you like this angle? Yes. It came very spontaneously, and then I would lose her, and I'd see her outside shooting an interview, and I'd say, why are we interviewing him? Let's interview this. It came very spontaneously. We didn't know where it's leading. We said, maximum we'll do a short doc, one day just to show what we've done. But when the play took place and the reform took place, we were like, there are 10 documentaries outside these footages. And the documentary and film can convey the message much further than the theater play that was, there inside, that you can come and watch it. Okay, definitely we have it shot and it's on YouTube for everyone to watch it. But the film travels much further. And this is where we decided to do the film. And it was the first experience I have as a filmmaker sitting behind, an editing suite for a whole year and a half. Me and an editor, wonderful editor, Michel Tian. I really also, I was blessed to have people who believed in this whole project, because to tell you we had money doing the film or the editing or the production, nothing, there was no budget even for that. And these people believed in this, and there you go, the film ends up. And I say, so now what do you do with films? Where do festival? Oh, festivals, yes, okay, I'm gonna send it to a festival. And there was Dubai Film Festival back then, and I sent it, just like, okay, let's send the film. And the film wins the best documentary, 2009. And it started traveling, and it started bringing more awareness. And then I had people contacting me for work, similar work in different prisons, whether in the Arab world or in Europe. Can you come train people to do this work? So what started as, just an idea, a hypothesis, like theater can be, art can help, art can create change. Look where it led. And now, yes, I do travel, training people to do the same work or inspiring people to do it. And there you go. Look where we are today. 3 films already produced, 3 plays inside prisons, 3 laws, 2 of them changed, and 1 awaiting the parliament, hopefully, to sign it.
Yeah, so let's come on to the impact of your films, because the film that you've just kind of touched on there is 12 Angry Lebanese. So this is from around 2009. This
Yes.
is the first time that a play performed in a prison that's been open to a public audience in
Yeah.
the Arab world. And as you say, it was very much the kind of drama therapy project first, the filming it was very much the kind of behind the scenes. It was only sort of once the play had been performed that you realized that you had a film. But then if we move forward to your second film, Shahrazad's Diary.
Shahrazad's Diary, yeah.
So this is a different prison. You get permission all over again to go is Baba prison. Permission all over again to go in and to work, this time with the women in that prison. And this time, presumably, you know that both a play will come out of it and a film. And I wonder if you could talk, before we talk about the impact, can you talk a little bit about your process in gaining these women's trust? You know, these are women who, you know, have been imprisoned. I mean, some of them are referred to as like murderers of husbands. You just know that, you know, some of them are in there for defense. You know, these are women who've had incredibly tough lives, who are like just faced constant kind of oppression, where you can imagine that it might be quite, any trust might be kind of quite hard won. And I just wonder if you could, and they really open up to you. It's incredible, the stories that come out in this film. It's also incredible, like the openness, the generosity, even like the humor sometimes through which they tell it. And I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about the process of working with those incredible women.
Okay, Melanie. So you'd be surprised that gaining the confidence of the women was much easier than gaining the first confidence of the men in 12 Angry Lebanese. Huh? So let's go there first. When I first entered 12, the Rumi prison, which is the most notorious prison in Lebanon, it's the biggest prison where high security, you know, murderers, every kind of crime, you'd find it there, and they are only male. So imagine me, I entered there, it was 2000, late 2007, start of 2008, and they are like, you're the actress from TV. So this is what they knew. And then I said, yeah, I'm the actress from TV. And they say, so what are you doing here? I say, I'm here if you'd like us to do a theater play together after a therapeutic process. Here there was what is she coming to do? What does she mean by therapy, actually? And a woman coming to do a therapy, you know, there is this whole patriarchal thing. But definitely what helped is that they knew me from TV. I was on TV for 10 years already, or 12, you know. So they've seen me, they know me. It's as if I have visited them years before, you know, because I'm on this weekly theater program. But for them to open up and in front of a woman, this was a process, talking about everything, childhood traumas, relation to dad, to the mother, and this took more time. When the 12 Angry Lebanese took place, you know, it was mediatized a lot. So TVs were talking about it, the talk shows, blah, blah. I before I even took the initiative to go to the women prison, it's the women who asked for us. It's the woman who said we need this NGO and Zeina Daccache to come in. So I received a phone call from the warden inside this prison called Babda prison saying the women wants to meet you. So I go to the meeting. They asked for a meeting. I go with my assistant and we meet with these women, and they were like so angry, like, why the men are doing this job and we are not doing it? And I was like, okay, what do you want to convey? And they were like, we are murderers of husband. We've been, we suffer from domestic violence. We want that. Want to talk about the patriarchal society. The play was already done in their head. The messages were there. I said, okay, just wait few days, let's see. I go, I get the clearance, I seek funding because it's a long process also, another 2 or 3 years, you know, you have the whole crew, production and things. And there you go. It came this way. Did I have to gain a confidence? I'm a woman just like them. So they were like so free. They are there. They want to talk. They believed that the tool and this lady called Zeina and the tool of drama therapy will convey their messages. They knew that the media is going to come to hear their stories, and that a law for the protection of women from domestic violence has to take place. And here we really, the work we've done in my NGO was to collaborate with other NGOs who work for women issues and things, because there were many draft laws already presented to the Lebanese parliament, moving these draft laws, conveying the messages, saying what need, and even there are texts in my play that were adapted from draft laws presented, you know. We invited every single member of the parliament to the play. They had to stay after the end of the play. You shut the door, you keep them there for a Q&A with these women that had to ask directly in the presence of the media. You know what I mean? It's a direct lobby. It's like, you're locked here, guys. What do you want to do? You want us to keep on killing husbands? This is what you want, and have children in the, you know, orphans in the street? What do you want? Just what do you want? You know, and same year, no, 2013, we did Shahrazad, and the film came out, also premiered at Dubai Film Festival back then, and won 2 awards there, and the public and the Fipreski Award, and it started touring, and it was in the cinemas in Lebanon like for a whole year. Never documentaries would stay for a whole year inside the cinema, you know, theatrical. And 2014, the law passes for the protection of members of the family from domestic violence. See what I mean? So it's a kind of gaining the trust. This is what people are going to see in the films, and they will see the process. My documentaries show you the process from the start, sessions, few months later, you're seeing the whole, and they will see even the skin color change in these people. You'll see them how they started, you know, like pale and not really, with not much confidence within themselves, not just with it for me, you know, and then how the process goes, and we are there as one team producing something, you know.
And then, and also I can, yeah, I mean, I you can also see in the film that they believe in the project in terms of having faith in the impact that it will have. For instance, in the law that, as you referenced, that was brought in 2014 to protect women
Members of the family from domestic violence. Yeah.
And if we move on, so that was the second film. If we move on to the third, The Blue Inmates, this is the most recent one from just a couple of years ago. You're back in Romea prison. This, again, this really notorious prison, but in a specific kind of wing of the prison where those with mental health conditions are kind of secured. And I mean, tell us the kind of context of this, because these are prisoners who are there, who are being kept indefinitely, right? Because they're deemed mad and possessed until they can prove that they're cured. Which for anyone with a mental health condition that's then made worse by the treatment that you're given in prison is going to be very, very difficult to evidence, if ever.
Yeah, Melanie, so there was a new hat I was wearing along these years, and it's the lawyer, the activist. I never opened the penal code. I can tell you that. I never knew what is a penal code anyway. But sooner or later, while working year after year after year, I started understanding what is the reduction of sentences. And it's the inmates who tell you, look at this article, look at this law, it's been written, never implemented, blah, blah, blah. And so I had more and more interest to know more. And one day, it was 2012, I'm working with the girls, and there is this girl who comes in to the session, very young girl, like 24 years old. I never seen her in the drama therapy sessions, but she comes in from the room, and you can see she's suffering from mental illness. She speaks to herself. There is self-harm. You can tell from her hand. You ask her what's her name, and then she doesn't answer. And then, you know, everyone says, oh, Zeina, you know, Fatma is not okay. And I'm like, what is not okay? They tell you cuckoo. They don't even know the word to mental illness. It's it's whatever they've known from their education. You call someone cuckoo, crazy. And I was like, what is she doing here? It was the first time that it hit me. What about mentally ill offenders? Indeed, like I've never seen them inside my session, but I think they exist in these prisons. And when I went to the penal code, it says if you are a mentally ill offender, you stay in prison until cured from your mental illness. And unfortunately, it's not even written as mental illness. It says, the penal code says, if you're crazy, possessed, or another third word, I don't know how to say it in English, but possessed or crazy, you end up in prison until cured. This was the top of the top, and I was like, oh my God. And our penal code was written in 1943, never revised. There you go. We're in 2023 right now. We still have in the penal code a crazy and possessed person who commits a crime goes to prison until cured. This is where a huge project that stayed like for 4 or 5 years includes the theater play with regular inmates taking the roles of the mentally ill people residing in this prison. And it's the men's prison. This is where I went. So let's say Ali would take the role of Tony, who is suffering from a mental illness. Hussein would take the role of, I don't know who, of Itani, of Kat. And the work I did was drama therapy with the people suffering from mental illness, and the stories they conveyed and whatever, they said would be performed in this play by their fellow inmates who don't suffer from a severe mental illness. Second, the production of the film, which is the Blue Inmates. Third, a draft law that would be drafted from our NGO in collaboration with the Ministry of Justice, who was just like you and me saying, oh my God, it still exists. Yes, open the penal code, So you understand that at times your government is not just oblivious about things, but that we, especially in Lebanon, we have so many things to deal with that this also needs to be revised, okay, let's revise it. And indeed, so they allocated judges and lawyers working with the ministry who worked with us to draft this law. There was this wonderful judge, Hamza Sharafuddin, who worked like hand in hand, word by word, how the whole comparative law. And by the way, these are on our website, www.catharsislcdt.org. You'd see the comparative law, you'd see the draft law presented. We presented the draft law in 2016, but unfortunately, as Lebanon is in a huge crisis, as you know, if you watch the news, we have no government since ever now. We have a huge economic crisis. So this is not, a priority at this time in Lebanon. So we're still waiting for the draft law to be passed at the parliament.
And I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about the filmmaking process, because all three films are obviously highly collaborative. And I feel as though in the Blue Inmates, we really see a kind of, there's a kind of increase in confidence and playfulness with the filmmaking. And I know that some of the prisoners were obviously collaborators, not just in front of the camera, but actually as part of the filmmaking team.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you could talk a bit about that process and the kind of skills that they were learning as part of that.
I can tell you, Melanie, that the process is very similar in the three documentaries. So it's not like, the second I'm going to do it better with a bigger crew. All my films are shot with one camera. One. And there are people who tell, no way. I can tell from the editing there are 3 cameras. No. It's one camera, one DOP. And no sound person. Who is the sound? We get the sound, material and things, but who's taking the sound, the boom? It's one of the inmates.
Yeah.
So the DOP would tell him, so you need to hold it just like that. This is the distance you need to put. Okay, and you put this here, and they volunteer, just like who's interested in taking the sound today. I'm interested. Okay, and voila. If tomorrow he doesn't want, we teach someone else. The minimum, how do you say, requirements are there. And this is what makes it so cozy and so intimate, how you say it, because my films, when you see them, you feel like you tell me they are so relaxed, these inmates. Yeah, guess what? We're not shooting. We're not here to shoot the film because we're here to archive. We're here to keep this memory. We're here to see where it's gonna lead. I have no idea. My films are done on the editing. There is no direction in the moment. Definitely, I know who to interview. Definitely, I know that this angle would be nice. Definitely, I would have a glimpse of today's session, what it is. But do I know what's going to happen today in this session? No one knows. No one knows. You're in a chaotic anarchia place, at times we'd be coming, so you'd call Tony, come in, and Ali, today we're rehearsing your whatever for the play. Tony might have been out because the judge have signed, so no more Tony in the play. Okay, so no more Tony. Okay, so now we're working on. At times they have crisis. At times there is something that happens politically in the country where we adapt, we change. These films were done with a lot of patience, and I'm gonna tell you what made them a successful films. It's because there's no intention to make a film. I don't know how to say it. The patience of being there, and we're there to convey the message. We're not here, I want to produce a film because there is this production, I have a deadline tomorrow with, I'm saying whatever, and the producer told me to have it ready. I'm the producer, I mean my NGO. No industry would, if you go with the producer, no one would allow, my films would take 4 and 5 years between the preparation, shooting, the editing, and the editing. I'm in the editing. I need some distance, all this is a long process. So voila.
I'm really conscious of time, but I just want to ask before we go. I mean, first of all, if there's anything else that you'd like to say in respect to the 3 films that we haven't touched on already, maybe in relation to the impact of them, or what's next for Catharsis, if not.
So the films, so we're talking about a trilogy. We're talking about a journey. So I would wish that people would like to watch them, but definitely they have the freedom. I'd love people to watch them chronologically, like 12 Angry Lebanese, then Shahrazad, then The Blue Inmates, because you see also this whole maturity in the whole thing, whether the inmates, whether me, it's a journey. It's a journey of 14 years that people have now in these 3 films. The impact, I can tell you that the impact is still ongoing just because the laws has been changed and it touches a lot of people. So the people you're going to see inside these films change the lives of many people after them. And this is for me the biggest impact. Definitely the awareness. These films have been touring educationally worldwide, whether in Lebanon, in schools, in universities. They are being taught at universities in the States and UK. I'm more than happy that what started as a desire, look where it led. Law, awareness, change of lives, change of future to come, What else do I need to say? Just enjoy the films, really. Enjoy them.
Thank you so much. So everyone, all 3 titles are available to watch through to the end of the year on DAFilms.com. And will actually be free to view for the next week. As Zeina says, we encourage you to watch them in order. And you can find out more about the
I'm
film.
free to watch them in whichever order, but me, I'd like them to watch them like that.
You can watch them on DAFilms, and also I think we're going to post on there links to YouTube videos where you can actually watch the original plays that each
Yes.
feature in each of the films, should you want to kind of explore that too. Zeina, thank you so much. Everyone, you
Thank
can
you,
follow
Melanie.
Zeina Daccache's on socials, and also look up Catharsis. It's the NGO that you founded that's kind of produced each of these films, these ongoing projects, and that's behind this activism for penal law reform in Lebanon. So just to kind of follow that work and the impact as it progresses. You can follow us at reclaimtheframe.org and on social media to see what we're up to next in championing films by filmmakers of marginalized genders. And I just want to finally thank DAFilms.com and Christopher Small, who's organized this behind the scenes.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Christopher, really. And thank you both for the beautiful initiative. I mean, you made a dream of inmates come true. This is what you've just done, guys.
Thank you so much, Zeina. Your work is incredible and such incredible impact. I'm so sorry that we don't have time to dig into it more, but it's been amazing just to hear a little about about this trilogy. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching, and just urge you to follow the links in the chat to dafilms.com where you can find out more and watch these works. Okay. Thank you. Bye
Good
now.
night. Bye.